Hi, my name is Amanda Pridmore, and today we're doing Couch Time Talks about ethics, and I'm addressing the idea of what ethics is, why it's important, and how it affects our daily lives. So, in order to investigate the question of why ethics should be important to the individual and why it's worth studying within philosophy, we must first understand what ethics is. I know I've talked about this some before, but kind of to address those points succinctly, ethics comes from the word ethos in Greek and basically means either habit or character or concept. So we've all heard the adage, character is something you do when no one's watching. So, in the same way, an ethics is a moral belief or code that's inward to yourself that you have no matter who's watching or what you're caught within. In this way, you can be an ethical person and be religious, an ethical person and be an atheist, an ethical person who comes from America, comes from Europe, comes from anywhere. So, an ethics isn't about who you are so much as what you believe and what's important to your inner value system. So, from here, we can ask the question, why is it important? Why should we care about it? And why should we study it? So, the reason that it's so important takes on multiple levels. The first of which is that it gives you the ability to decide what's important to you. So, without a sense of ethics, it would be very hard to distinguish between what actions you should take and what actions you shouldn't. Also, it would be hard to set a goal for yourself. So, by having an ethics, we can determine what is important to us and what our priorities are. This allows you to prioritize what you want to lobby for, how you want to spend your time, the kind of job you want to have, and really determining what's most important to you. Further within this, though, is the idea of ethics as a common tradition held between people. So, coming from the United States, we have certain ethical traditions that are characteristics of being American. Some of these are not so good, but some of these are. And these ethics give us an ability to identify ourselves within a greater culture and really to have this kind of cultural identity that's so important. Also, these exist between subsets and kind of give a more close knit ethical cultural tradition. So I come from a Greek tradition. Within this, we have an ethic that's very family oriented. So it's very important that you keep your family first, that you marry within the Greek tradition, that you do get married and have children, and that you're tied within this idea of what is right and wrong for a Greek person. And this gives you an idea of what it is to be Greek and allows you to kind of see this commonality between yourself and your family, which is very important. In addition to this, ethics shows up so much within our daily life and within studies and within multiple disciplines that's important to have an ethical understanding for this very reason. So, within the overall field of ethics, there's more specialized ethics, such as value ethics, so determining what is good and what is bad, ethics of truth, and ethics of knowledge. It really is boundless. So, it's very important to come with this ethical understanding so as to be able to understand these traditions and to apply it broader. You think about what's important to the person and what's important to daily life and even conversations that you have, and this idea of the good, of the knowledge, of what is justice. All of these are ethical traditions, and all of these come up. Further, ethics gives us a background from which to evaluate events that happen in our lives and in the future. So, for example, I study ethnic conflict. It's very important that I have a very solid founding in my ethical understandings so as to look at these problems and to see how I line up and what my own view is. So, in my study for my recent senior thesis, I looked at rape as a war crime as it happened in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So, by having the ethical understanding that I believe that rape is wrong, and that gendered crimes against women are wrong, and this kind of understanding of gender within an ethical sense allows me to better come at this problem and to better understand what the background is. This also comes up in a lot of other schools and just allows you to further your studies to a more general principle. So understanding what the good is, what the just is, that sort of thing, which is very important when you want to be in school or when you want to be able to study something and really understand daily life. It's not as simple as a rule or set of codes as many people think it is. An ethic is not something that's going to tell you what's right and wrong in every occasion. It's not, rape is bad or anything like that. It's more of an inner light or an inner guide that allows you to determine how you feel about a given action, how you feel about moving your life forward, that sort of thing. And so in this way, for self-understanding and for an overall humanist view as well, it's very important to come with a preset of what ethics is and what your own ethic is for yourself, for your family, and for the broader tradition. So this is a reason why it's very important to have this ethical understanding and to be an ethical person.